Politics with T. I am your host, Tanya. And tonight, I just want to say happy Thursday. I hope everybody's had a great week so far. Listen, guys, we have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of stuff that we had to catch up on from last Thursday. A lot of things that took place, especially the last speech that Trump did. Oh, my Lord. It's just where do we even begin? I'm telling you, this is where I feel like we really got to be honest and truthful with ourselves, okay? But anyway, again, happy Thursday. It is 8 o'clock. I wanted to say that, this coming Friday, which is tomorrow, we are starting the best sports edition with Sports and Politics with T. We're going to be doing a lot of lives, a lot of videos with, the basketball, football, like we promised. And we're going to go live at 8 o'clock tomorrow and also on Saturday at 2 p.m. We're going to do the highlights of the week. So definitely catch us live tomorrow night again at 8 o'clock and on Saturday at 2 o'clock because we're going to kick off the sports edition as well. Okay, guys? All right. But anyway, it is March the 6th. We're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's topics. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is Trump when he addressed Congress. Well, actually, when he addressed the United States. Let's just say it was a 50-50 reaction. Of course, the Republicans were cheering, and the Democrats were sitting down. There was no emotion. There was no excitement. They weren't engaged. It was almost like they just didn't even care. I don't even think they wanted to be there. I really don't. Even when the people walked in, all they did was just look at them. And actually, one guy got kicked out. I was like, what happened to the freedom of speech, So anyway, let's take a look at this clip. This is Donald Trump talking at the last speech. And we're going to break this video down. And that way you'll get to see exactly what people are saying. Okay.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country. And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525.
Oh, they're
On a
booing.
map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever. Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
So let's stop right there. Let's just analyze a few things as far as what he just said. First of all, he's lied just about that first 5 minutes. Well, really, the whole speech was a big lie. Okay, so listen, guys. My job tonight is to break these videos down. Actually, I got a few people in the comment section. Hey, is that 600 Plant Life? The Haunted Phantom, is that Bo Hargis? Hello, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. Glad you joined the live tonight. Listen, look like I got some Trump fans and I got some people that are not Trump fans. And that's okay, okay? Like I said, I'm not a fan of Trump either, okay? I'm just spreading the news and highlighting what I feel about these videos. Okay, so I understand we're going to have differences of opinion, and that's okay. But this video, let me tell you something. First of all, what he said was an absolute lie. Okay, and number two, I don't think people are as happy as he thinks, and I don't think his polls are as what people think. Okay. You know, I feel, and this is just my honest opinion, yes, the billionaires and the rich people, of course, they're going to applaud. They're going to be making a lot of money. But the people who just lost their jobs, right, you know, the farmers that's losing their farms, the federal workers that just lost their jobs, you know, people getting laid off left and right, people in California who still ain't got help yet, people in North Carolina who still ain't got help yet. Listen, these people are not happy. And the sad thing about it, this is just March, guys. Okay. We haven't seen nothing yet. I keep telling people that if you think that this is something, honey, wait another 6 months from now or a year from now. Then we really going to be able to tell you exactly how things are going to play out. But let's just keep looking at this video and we're going to break it down.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Okay, stop right there. Hold on 1 second.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the
Okay, I'm gonna stop one more time. I'm sorry, guys, because I have to interject here. See, do you see how freedom of speech just goes out the window? Wasn't he just for freedom of speech? Didn't he say that anything goes? But now we have somebody who's upset. They're not for what he's pushing to the American people, and he gets tossed out, and he's a person of color. Isn't that ironic? Of all the people there that's booing, making noises, outbursts, he's the one that gets thrown out. It just seems a little strange to me. So anyway, but let's keep going.
past 6 weeks, nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that?
Oh my God.
I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever. They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst.
All right, guys. So you see here that he's really just going on and on about nothing. You know, he always has to have the spotlight. He always want to make himself look good. But in reality, we all know the truth. We all know that the American people, they're not happy right now. Okay? They are not happy right now. In fact, what we're going to talk about next is some of the people that got fired. Oh, they're wanting to speak out right about now. And see, this is the real reality of what people are thinking.
To inform some of the affected agencies, it had no authority to even make those cuts. One of those probationary employees, 24-year-old Michigan native Riley Cooper, was just let go by the U.S. Forest Service and shared her heartbreaking story with the Washington Post. You see, Riley has dreamed of becoming a mother. After a doctor told her that IVF could be her only hope of having children, she turned to Trump, who had promised on the campaign trail to fully cover the procedure. It ended up being the very reason she cast her ballot for President Trump this past November. Riley Cooper joins me now. Riley, welcome. Thank you for sharing your story. And I wonder, what was it like for you when you got the news that you were being let go?
It was really hard. I was on the phone with my best friend, Kaylee, at the time, and we were just discussing her life and how things were going. And I looked at my phone and I had gotten a text from our union rep, and he told me that I was going to be fired the next day. And I told her, I have to go. I'm getting fired tomorrow. And my heart just sank.
I'm so sorry this is happening, and the frustration you must be feeling, and perhaps anxiety about what's next. And of course, we're hearing a lot about following the campaign and the elections, about the mandate that people wanted to see a streamlined government, that they want to be able to right size it in some way and rid of waste and fraud. That was not the motivating reason you were voting for President Trump. Does that impact the way you see any of this?
Yeah, it's hard from my perspective to approach the current administration with hope. I've been dealing with infertility now for about a year. I've had multiple surgeries in my life. So, going into the voting booth, the main thing on my mind was the same thing I'd been thinking about for the past 11 months. And it was, I want to be a mom. And women who have gone through that experience, that heartbreaking feeling of wanting something that you might never have, they understand how much of your time is taken up with those thoughts and how overwhelming and lonely it can feel. So as someone who is more of a swing voter, sometimes that's what it comes down to, is those single issues. Because when you step into the voting booth, you're thinking of what's important to you and like the issues that are resonating with you in that moment. And for me in that moment, like, it took me a while, and I made a decision that, looking back, I'm not proud of, but it's the reality of my situation now.
Riley, do you now regret the way you voted for Trump?
I do feel regret, and I've had a lot of tumultuous thoughts about that day in the election booth. When you're voting on something that affects you so personally, it's really easy to get tunnel vision, especially in a voting booth when you're staring at, you have two options, right? I mean, it's not like you're given an endless amount of options to achieve your goals. And so afterwards, when I thought maybe this is my chance, I also had to come to terms with the fact that I was likely going to be a part of, taking chances away from other groups of people, and that's never sat well with me.
I understand, sadly, you have been getting a lot of hate mail, a lot of negative reaction for even speaking your mind about how you feel since being fired. Can you describe some of that?
People online get very brave. They can very easily say terrible things to you that they would never in a million years say to anyone's face. I've had people tell me that, they hope that I never have a child, and that I got exactly what I deserve. And as much as all of the terrible comments have been coming through, I've also received an immense amount of support, especially from women who have gone through IVF, who struggle with infertility. It's unfortunately a large group of us out there who deal with this. And I hope that more light comes to the issue of infertility. It's a terrible, lonely process. And I'm really glad that some people have reached out with, understanding and they send me hope as well, which I appreciate.
Riley Cooper, thank you.
All right, so look.
All right, so this is a prime example of what people are really feeling. Okay, see, in Trump's world, he thinks everything is great. You know, him and Elon are supposedly finding all this stuff with no proof. Like I said a couple weeks ago, where is the proof? We'd like to see it. We haven't seen it yet. They keep throwing out all these numbers, and guess what, guys? I'm not falling for it. I'm just not. It doesn't make me or break me. I'm just saying, you know, I think he said something about, you know, they found somebody that was 300 years old and another one that was 250 years old and all this. And if that's the case, hey, whatever. All I'm saying is where's the proof? And if they can supply that, that would be great. Otherwise, I'm not believing nothing that they're saying to the American people right now. Because you just saw that lady. That lady voted for Trump and she lost her job. I thought she was Democrat. I looked at the article and I thought she was Democrat, but actually she's Republican too. And she got a double whammy. So anyway, but enough about Trump. Let's talk about Kamala Harris for right now. And actually I got some more people in the live. Is that Samira Nuwan? Hi, Samira. Thank you for joining the live tonight. Thank you. Yeah, so let's talk about Kamala Harris. Now listen, Kamala Harris didn't win the election. She didn't win the presidential nominee race. But believe it or not, she is in California visiting the wildfires. Now take it. They said that she's thinking about running for governor for California. So, and I know she already lives there. But still, it's the fact that, to me, I feel like Trump should be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Since he is president now. I mean, it's like he's not even looking at things like that. She's lost the race and she's still visiting the sites. So let's watch this, and then we're going to break this video down about Kamala Harris and what she thinks about the wildfires in California.
Still here on the ground.
Resident Jamie Longo in tears seeing Harris in her community.
The fact that she would come down to, you know, our community and see the devastation, it means everything.
LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath giving the tour and expressing gratitude for the Biden-Harris administration immediately approving federal disaster aid without conditions.
You personally called, you've been personally attentive to what's happening on the ground from the moment this started.
One of the things they wanted the former vice president to see is this burnt-out mobile home, evidence that there's a lot of different kinds of properties that burned.
As we think about the future, we must, as a society, as a country, invest in adaptation and resilience. And we have to understand these extreme weather occurrences are extreme, but they are increasingly less rare.
Harris also visiting the Westwood Recreation Center, a temporary home for fire evacuees. There, she's asked directly, are you running for California governor?
I have been home for 2 weeks and 3 days. My plans are to be in touch with my community, to be in touch with the leaders and figure out what I can do to support them.
Does seeing this change the way you think about the question of whether to run for governor?
I am here and would be here regardless of the office I hold, because it is the right thing to do, which is to show up in your community and thank the folks who are on the ground.
On Inauguration Day, Kamala Harris had a chance to speak with incoming VP J.D. Vance and incoming President Donald Trump. And Trump about this. A Harris advisor tells me Trump and Harris have spoken multiple times behind the scenes about California wildfires, with the former vice president stressing the need to fully fund disaster relief efforts without conditions, as every president has done before. Harris has not weighed in publicly on Trump's performance as president so far, while privately, she's contemplating her own future. You ready to support her for governor?
If she's running, I'm interested to know that. I know that there are certainly a lot of stories out there, but I think she has a lot of support here.
Interesting to see. And I'm about
All right, guys. So you see that Harris is in California right now, visiting the wildfires, something that J.D. Vance and Trump should be doing, since they are in the presidency right now. So, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, she lost the race and she's out visiting like if she was president. You see what I'm saying? Like, where is the priority? You know, people need help. They've lost everything. And guess what we're doing? We're talking about DEI. We're talking about all this other stuff that really is just a waste of time to me, you know. But you see Kamala Harris, still classy, still out there trying to do what she can. Even though she didn't win, she's still acting as if she was president. See, that's what I'm talking about right there, you know. So we're just going to have to keep an eye out to see what she's going to do, if she's going to be running for governor or just to see. You know, I'm going to be really zoomed in on these next few weeks. So we'll keep you posted on that. All right. All right. Now, again, let's talk about tomorrow night. Okay, tomorrow night, again, we're kicking off the sports edition with Sports with T. Not politics, but Sports with T. That's going to be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, where we're going to do the rundown of all the games, of all the sports. You got to join me live tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And also on Saturday at 2 p.m., we're going to do a rundown of all the highlights, just everything you can think of. We're going to be covering it right here on this channel, okay? And also, guys, if there's some things that you want to see or you want to talk about, listen, I am an open book. I am open to suggestions. If there's some things you want to cover or there's some things you want to discuss, hey, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. I do got a few comments tonight about some things, but guess what? That's okay. If there's some stuff you've seen or there's some stuff that's just bothering you or some stuff that you're like, you know what? We really need to tackle this. We need to talk about this. Hey, again, hit me up in the comment section. I will be glad to do a video on it, okay? And we'll break it down just like we do every single week. All right. I'd like to thank all my subscribers, everybody who's tuned in, everybody who's commented tonight, and just people just interacting with me. I appreciate all the feedback and just everybody's outtake and intake on a whole lot of things that we cover. Okay, so trust me, just you being here, just you listening, just you corresponding with me on this live says a lot, and it means a lot. Okay, all right, guys. Well, if you've enjoyed the content, and like I said, if there's some things you want to see, please, again, hit me up in the comment section. I'll be glad to go over anything you want to talk about. But we're going to keep the topics going, and we're going to keep going more and more deeper into the politics and into the sports arena. Okay? All right. All right, guys. Now, if you love this content or you enjoyed the video, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also hit the notification bell. That way you're always in tune as far as when I come on the live or when I do my pre-recorded videos. You won't miss an episode. So just please hit like, share, and subscribe. And that way we can get the content out there to many, many people on YouTube. Okay? All right, guys. All right. Well, it's been nice. And I will see y'all tomorrow night. Yes, again, we're doing that sports edition tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I will be right here, and we're going to have some fun tomorrow night, okay? It's not going to be no news. It's not going to be no politics. It's going to be more of an entertainment live tomorrow night, okay? Friday night and Saturday is going to be our fun nights, all right? Okay. All right, well, y'all have a great rest of the day, because I'll see y'all tomorrow. And again, thank you for tuning in with Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya, and everybody have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.